There once was a young Siamese cat who lived in the high-end part of the city. Her name was Velvet, and she was everything a pedigree cat was supposed to be. Sleek, polished, and well-groomed. She spent her days lounging on sun-drenched balconies, and her nights perched in windows, gazing out over the rooftops and alleyways below. The ones her humans told her to stay far away from. One day, Velvet sat in the courtyard cafe, sipping warm milk from a saucer, when she overheard an old tomcat telling a story to a group of curious kittens. His fur was scruffy and patched, his ears torn from many street fights, but his eyes were wise and kind. The kittens curled around him as he began to speak. There was once a ginger tabby, a traveler, making his way through the alleys between the East End and the Market District. He was alone, far from his usual turf, when a gang of alley dogs leapt out from behind the bins. They bit and clawed and tossed him against the wall. They tore his collar and left him bloodied and broken, right there on the cold concrete. He meowed for help, but no one came. Then down the alley came a temple cat, smooth, black and white, with a bell around his neck. He paused when he saw the wounded tabby, but said, "I can't risk infection. The paws of the pure must stay clean." And he turned and slipped away. Next came a Bengal in a golden harness. He slowed, sniffed the air, and said, "This is gang territory. If I stay, I'll be the next one bleeding. Not my fight." And he, too, left. But then came a cat from the other side of the river. You know the ones. Rough around the edges, scavengers, always blamed when food goes missing. He saw the tabby, and without a word, patted over. He licked the blood gently from the tabby's nose. He pulled him out of the gutter with his teeth. He dragged him beneath the bakery vent, the warmest spot in that whole alley, and laid him on a flattened pizza box. Then he pawed at the bakery door until a human opened it. The Purrmaritan meowed and purred until the human placed out food and water. He gave up his own sardines to pay for care. And before he left, he scratched a message into the dust with his claw. "Take care of him. I'll be back soon." The kitten stared wide-eyed. And Velvet, sitting just outside the circle, tail curled neatly over her paws, narrowed her eyes. She licked her shoulder, thoughtfully. She had passed that bakery 100 times and never looked twice. Then the old tomcat asked the kittens, "So tell me, which of the three was truly a neighbor to the injured tabby?" The kittens mewed together. "The one who helped him." The tomcat nodded. "Then go, little ones, and do the same." Velvet stayed seated for a moment. She looked down at her perfect paws. She thought about the warmth of her bed upstairs, and the coldness of the alley behind the bakery. Then, without another lick or word, she stood. She padded past the cafe, past the groomers, past the boutique. She crossed the busy street. She leapt over a trash can and landed in the narrow, grimy alley behind the bakery. There, by the vent, she saw a fresh pizza box, still warm, and beside it, curled up in a tight ball, was the injured tabby from the story. He was asleep, breathing, healing. Velvet didn't speak. She curled beside him, tail touching his, and watched the stars come out. Because now she understood. Being a true cat isn't about fur or food or fine places. It's about who you stay beside when no one else will. And in that quiet alley, the wind smelled like bread and hope.